we kind of get started. So if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. This is what we do on a monthly basis. So this will be our first Facebook Live or live stream in general, because we're also live on YouTube. This will be our first live stream for the new year. So happy New Year to everyone that are joining us. And looking forward to kind of discussing some of the questions you might have about your business, or kind of how you want to grow your business in the new year in 2021. So welcome, definitely welcome for everyone that are joining us. I am going to go through a couple of housekeeping announcements before we kind of get started. But if you want, comment in the comment section below if you are joining for the first time, if this is the first time you're joining a live stream of ours, or you've been here before, and where you're joining from. Usually I see a variety of people joining from different states, even from different countries. So it would be good to kind of hear the variety of audience that's joining us on this live stream. So I already see a couple of people joining from Houston, Texas, Shelly from Houston, Nadine Smith Barksdale from Florida, good to see you. Sean Satchel from Queens, New York. Honey Ellis from Denver, Colorado. So a bunch of people from all over the place. April from Easton, Pennsylvania. Carmelo from Youngstown, Ohio. Good to see you guys. All right. First time joining from Ryan Allier. Good to see you, Ryan. I actually think, Ryan, you posted some good pictures and videos on Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery Group. I think I've seen your profile before. I think you're new to embroidery as well, and then you were posting some stuff that you've done or digitized on your own, if I'm not mistaken. Vicky Roche from Eastern Virginia, good to see you. First timer from upstate New York, Sean Garland. Monica from Southern Oregon. Wow, a lot of people from different states. Tisha Aguilar from Blackfoot, Idaho. Awesome. Linda Russell, been here many times from New Jersey. Good to see you again, Linda. All right, so seems like a lot of people from all over the place. Southern California, David Dutcher, Gloria Cutts from Gloria, Chicago. David Brown from Brooklyn. Awesome. Donnie Bowles, Toledo, Ohio. Floyd Brown, first time considering Ricoma from Virginia. Good to see you, Floyd. All right, great. A bunch of people joining on this already. Over 120 viewers already on Facebook. Let's kind of check on over on YouTube. There's some people joining from Tennessee. Shugs881 from Tennessee. Good to see you there. All right, awesome. Great. So a couple of housekeeping announcements first. Well, if I saw some people kind of considering a Ricoma or thinking about getting into the embroidery business. So I do want to let everyone know that we do have the 0% financing sale still going on. 0% financing for only $130 a month if you want to do embroidery, and $249 per month for direct-to-garment printing. So as some of you might know, we offer both embroidery and printing equipment here at Ricoma. So if you're interested in getting started with that, we do have the 0% financing that's going on right now. Can you put that up on the screen? All right, we do have 0% financing for $130 a month going on right now for our embroidery machine. So you can get started for as low as $130 a month. And to put that into perspective, that's easily just one or two small orders of like a dozen polo shirts, and you can more than cover your monthly payment. That's something that we always offer here at Ricoma, so that we make it very affordable and easy for people to get started in this business for as low as $130 a month. And if you're interested in direct-to-garment printing, you can also go to our page that's on DTG and get started with DTG as low as $249 per month. Okay. So obviously, embroidery and direct-to-garment, they complement each other, and there are many different use cases for it. So if you want to become like a one-stop shop for your customers, this will be something very good for you to get started in the new year. So also, make sure to comment below if what kind of business goals you have. If you already have a business, what are your goals for 2021? And if you're thinking about starting a business, kind of what are you looking to achieve? And perhaps we can have a discussion there as to what are some people's plans and what are their goals for this new year. All right, so if you're interested in any of those two products, either the 0% financing for $130 a month for embroidery machines, go ahead and click the link that my team has pinned in the comment section below. If you're interested in DTG, click the corresponding link and contact a sales rep there, and they're more than happy to explain to you kind of the packages, what it includes, and the training and support and everything like that to get started. So if you're interested in either product, go ahead and click the relevant link in the comment section below that's pinned. And I also want to mention about Deco Summit, because we are coming up to Deco Summit. For those of you that don't know what Deco Summit is, it is our annual conference that's surrounding embroidery and the custom apparel industry in general. So we had one the year before last year. We were supposed to have it in October of 2020, but then we postponed it because of the pandemic, and now we have rescheduled it to March of 2021. So it is coming up in about 2 months' time, just a little bit over 2 months' time. It is on March 25th to the 27th in Miami, Florida. And tickets are about to be sold out. So I kind of wanted to give a heads up for some of those tickets. Let me see here. So the hands-on tickets, the hands-on training tickets have already been sold out. We only have 2 VIP tickets and hands-on tickets left. So it's the VIP plus hands-on training combo tickets. Okay. Can you go to that section, like the actual ticket section? Okay, so we do have we still have 2 VIP plus hands-on training tickets left. So if you do want to get VIP access to all the different sessions, they are broken down into general admission and VIP sessions. So if you do want to get access to the VIP sessions plus get hands-on training, which is an extra day, that's on the 25th. Right, the actual conference is on the March 26th and 27th, and then we have a hands-on training day on the 25th. If you do want to get access to that, there's only 2 more tickets left, because we do want to keep it small and therefore have more interaction with the trainers for that 3rd day. So there's only 2 left for the VIP plus hands-on training combo tickets. There's now under 10 VIP and general admission tickets left. So if you just want to attend the conference, you don't want the hands-on training part for the 3rd day, then you can get either the VIP or the general admission ticket. Those 2 combined have only less than 10 tickets left. So if you are interested in getting in on that before they sell out, this is kind of your last chance before we kind of sell out of the tickets before the event. We fully do expect to sell out probably well ahead of the event, probably about a month before. So you only have about 10 more tickets left there. Okay, and for those of you that have purchased an embroidery machine, you do get a free general admission ticket to Deco Summit. So if you haven't claimed that ticket, like if you just purchased the machine but you didn't claim your ticket, you have a code to be able to claim your ticket. If you haven't claimed it yet, that doesn't mean that you have access to the actual event. So do get in contact with Aliana to be able to get more information on that. If you don't know how to claim your free ticket, that once you've purchased a machine, you do need to claim that ticket before you can actually get a ticket from the ticket vendor and actually have a barcode to be able to access the event on the day of the event. Okay, but for those of you that have purchased embroidery machines before and a ticket has included with your purchase, you need to go ahead and claim that ticket. If you don't know how, get in touch with Aliana from our team. You can also email aliana@recoma.com. That's ALIANA @recoma.com, and she can help you out there. She's kind of our dedicated Deco Summit concierge that can help you out with a lot of those questions and help you claim your free ticket if you haven't done so already. All right, and then so that's kind of the announcement on Deco Summit. If you have questions about Deco Summit and the ticket prices or what's included or anything like that, feel free to comment below. I'll try to get to some of that in our session today. And then last but not least, we do have a giveaway at the end of this live stream, which will be a free 3-month subscription to HoopMade, which is our own platform of pre-digitized designs that we have that allows you to download them using credits, and you can pay a monthly subscription and have certain credits to your account that you can download these different designs. They get categorized into like animals or plants or different themes that you can download those designs with your credits. You do get a 3 months free subscription to that service if you're the winner on today's live stream. All right, that we will announce at the end of the stream. Awesome, great. So that's kind of the housekeeping announcements. If you have any questions regarding any of those things that I mentioned, feel free to comment below, and I'll try to get those answered. Now that we kind of get the housekeeping things out of the way, I can answer any of those questions. Or if you have any other questions about your business, kind of what your goals are starting out in 2021, feel free to comment below. As I mentioned before, let me know what your goals are. Let me know kind of if you already have a business or you're expanding your business, and what your plans are, what you want to achieve in this new year, and then we can have a discussion around that, or any other questions that you guys might have. We'll try to get those answered before the time allotted. All right, so I'm just going to go through some of these questions here and see if we have any questions. Edward Franklin says, my MT1501 ships by Friday. Very excited. Thanks to Angela and David at Ricoma, outstanding customer service. Thank you so much, Edward, and looking forward to see what you can do with your machine. Israel Garcia asked, waiting on my DTG, how do I find my tracking? Go ahead and contact your account coordinator for that if you want to get an update on your tracking for the shipping. Amy King asked a question. I just bought an MT1501 and my machine seems to be off-center. Design must be off-center on the screen in order to stitch in the center of the hoop. Need help? So that's very simple. It's just a setting of the parameters to recenter your hoop. I would recommend that you contact our support team for that. It's changing the parameters in the control panel so you can kind of have the right settings for the hoop that you're using. So I don't know what particular hoop you're using. Maybe you're using an off-market hoop, like a Mighty hoop or a third-party hoop. That might also be the reason. So, but if you're using the standard hoops, you just have to change the parameters to center the actual machine. Our team can show you how to do that. Make sure to either email service@ricoma.com or give us a call at our number, and then our service team is able to help you out with that. It should be a very simple call there. All right. Gina Hobbs says, existing t-shirt business expanding to offer embroidery. I have the EM1010. Awesome. Good to hear. Leah Klein says, I do silkscreen heat print transfers as well as embroidery, especially for hats. I want to grow my online business and ability to market well with custom orders. Okay. A few questions that I would ask is whether you currently do any sort of marketing online to market your services. If you do, do let me know in the comments below. Maybe we can have a conversation around that. But good to hear that you kind of have different techniques and different apparel decoration methods under one shop so that you can offer a variety of services to your customers. Ashley Nakarado Ren says, I own a screen printing and embroidery business. Just received my Ricoma forehead. I want to increase my online sales in 2021. Good to hear that. And congrats on your forehead machine. We'd love to see what you can do with it. And I already see a couple of people mentioning kind of online sales. So let me know in the comments below if a majority of your revenue comes from online, whether you do any online advertising right now. I think I've mentioned this in one of our previous live streams where if there's enough kind of demand or interest in learning how to market your business or your apparel decoration business online and have an online presence, I can do more content surrounding that. Just haven't seen a lot of different requests about how to market your business online. I don't know if that's too niche for of a topic, or if there's enough people interested in that. But if there's enough people interested in the topic like that, on how to increase your online sales, how to market your apparel decoration business specifically on the internet, whether that's with advertising or social media or whatever the case is, if there's enough kind of interest around that, I can definitely do more content and answer some questions surrounding that topic. Monica Schuster says, my goal is to create home decor and pet embroidery. That's good. Rama asks, how can I import a Ricoma machine to Australia? Does a 0% financing occur? You would need to speak with the distributor in Australia, or your local dealer in Australia, and what they offer. Sick Graphics says, do we get a ticket with purchase of EM1010? Yes, you do. We have to pay for our stay and plane ticket? Yes, you do. We do have a room block at the hotel of the event, and where the event is held, so you can book your ticket through there if you want. Jacqueline says, is this all in person or is any of it online? I purchased a machine in November. It came in December. So if this is in person, if you're talking about Deco Summit, it is an in-person event. It is not an online event. Okay, any other questions here? Let me see. Do you have Gina Hobbs asks, do you have an updated list of digitizers? I don't know if we updated it, but we do have a list of digitizers. It is in our Ricoma Connect Facebook group for Ricoma owners. I believe it's also in Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery, so feel free to download that if you haven't joined those groups, and you can download that in the files section. Ryan Allier asked, what guidelines should I go through to determine if I'm ready to start producing orders? That's a great question, Ryan. That's really depends on your individual circumstance, right? But some things that you should think about is whether you're even comfortable enough to actually operate the machine to produce a quality product. I think that's first and foremost, because some of the digitizing, you might be able to outsource it and get started that way, but you got to be comfortable operating the machine. You got to know tension. You have to know kind of how to hoop the items, what kind of backing to use. You need to know kind of how to operate the actual control panel, so you can do embroidery from start to finish. If you do at least that, you're kind of one step ahead and have the foundation to be able to get started and start taking orders. You also have to have an understanding of your time commitment, right? Whether you are able to dedicate enough time to fulfill these orders, right? Whether you're doing this part-time or full-time. If you're just doing this part-time, and you have a full-time job, 9 to 5, and you come back and you do orders, you might be working, late hours trying to get these orders out, and you have to set the right expectations that these orders are going to be completed in a certain turnaround time, because you're not dedicated to this on a full-time basis. So those questions you have to ask yourself, and you have to be prepared that if you are going to take on orders, that these orders are going to come in, and that you might be overwhelmed or inundated with orders that you have to fulfill by a certain time, or else the customer is going to be upset, right? So having the right infrastructure and process in place on the back end to make sure that you're comfortable operating the machine, you know how to do embroidery, at least the basics, so you know how to do embroidery from start to finish, as well as having the time and the dedication to kind of keep on mastering the craft. But not only that, having the bare minimal time to actually fulfill orders that do come in are, I think, the two most important factors that you need to consider before taking on orders. So if you can answer that, and both answers are yes, I know how to do embroidery from start to finish, and I have time dedicated to do that, then I think you can reasonably start taking orders and kind of test the waters to see how people react and what kind of orders they place, and then you can tweak kind of your time commitment and things like that accordingly as you continue to master the craft. So I hope that helps, Ryan, and embroidery is going to be a process. You are going to have to learn it. It's not plug and play. And so when you kind of go through that process, you're going to get better at it and be more efficient at it, and therefore spend less time doing it and be able to scale your business. But at least the first 2 points you should think of is kind of your personal dedication of time and your skill level to be able to complete an order should one come in. Xavier Walker. Oh, that message disappeared. If sometimes the Facebook comments, they scroll up and they disappear. So if you do have a question that's not answered, feel free to type it again, and then I can try to get to those. Sean Satchel says, what's the best way to set WSS, which is water soluble stabilizer, on a polo shirt? You usually don't use water soluble stabilizer on a polo shirt unless it's kind of maybe a very textured polo, which most of them aren't. So you don't typically use that, but I mean the way you set it is really just you hoop it along with the hoop, just like a stabilizer, but this time it's on top, and then you just wash it away with water afterwards. But usually with polo shirts that I've seen, unless it's very textured on the top, you don't really have to use water soluble stabilizer for that. Okay, so I did see some comments about wanting more content on online marketing from Linda Russell, from Gina Hobbs. I would like to see more content for online sales. Yes, from Cisco. Yes, please do more marketing online. Okay, so a couple of people, not an overwhelming kind of number, but a couple of people wanting to know more about online sales and how to market your business online. So something we can consider. David Hardman says, do you have a rule of thumb for thread tension in grams when working with thicker caps like Richardson's? I don't have a rule of thumb for kind of the actual tension. As long as you run a tension test and it looks good, that's really we do it by visual, not really by tied to a number of grams on the tension, because the threads can be different, your tension gauge and how you use it can be a different factor, and so it's not as conducive for us to do it that way versus just doing a tension test and seeing how it actually turns out. Yvonne Hicks asked, Henry, what is the best company to purchase wholesale for a new apparel company? I assume that's what you mean, purchase whole, meaning like purchase wholesale. We have a list of suppliers that you can purchase Blink Apparel from, so if you're interested, check that out. You can download that or get in touch with someone to send you that information, but I believe it's also in our Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery group, so feel free to download that resource if you want. Anthony Papoters asked, would I get in-person training when I purchase my MT1502? Yes, for multi-heads, 2 heads and up, you do get on-site in-person training at your location. For 2 days, actually. Ebony Nicole asked, any tips for someone just starting off with an embroidery company interested in purchasing the EM1010? Well, I mean, that's a pretty broad and general question, but some tips that I would give you is obviously, find your niche. That's one thing you want to make sure you kind of target and have a plan for before you kind of jump into it. You want to find your target audience, your target niche, and what kind of items you're looking to do, or what kind of organizations or businesses you're going after. The other thing is to really make sure you have the right expectations set that embroidery is not going to be plug and play, and then you're going to have to dedicate time to learn it and to work on it and to hone your skill and master the craft. That's going to take time, and we generally see that if people with no experience in embroidery probably takes about 3 months time to really get in a groove on how to do embroidery from start to finish. So know that that's going to take time, but the more time you put into it, and everyone's different, right? People have different levels of experience. People have different different time that they can dedicate to the craft, and that's going to determine how fast you ramp up. But just know that on the one hand, it's not plug and play, and it's definitely needs honing the craft and the time, that dedication to master it. But on the other hand, it's not rocket science either. Like, people can do it with absolutely no experience, and we've had hundreds and thousands of success stories from customers that have no prior experience in embroidery and have done very, very well and have expanded their business from single heads to multi heads and beyond. And that's just a testament to the fact that it is not rocket science, but you do need to put in the effort to learn it. That's something that I would also give you the advice on. But if you put in the time, if you put in the effort, this is something that's very much doable, and it's very profitable. Otherwise there won't be so many people wanting to get into this industry, to get into this business. So those are the two things that I would recommend to you to kind of focus on when you get your machine, is to find your niche and kind of make sure you dedicate the time to master the craft. And slowly but surely you will build up that book of business and be able to kind of keep busy at it. And if you're doing this part-time in the beginning, this could turn into a full-time career, and we've seen many successful customers do it that way as well. Brenda Steely Richmond. I'm not sure what you're referring to. You're replying to Anthony's comment. I assume you're talking about the on-site training. The if he yeah for all multi-head embroidery machines, if you have a multi-head, you do get on-site training. If you were told that you only get online training, that's probably during the time that the pandemic happened. So nobody was doing on-site training. No one was allowed to travel, and we were taking precautions that way. So we've always told people that you have that availability and that option available if you do want to take it after the pandemic is over. So now that things have kind of quieted down a bit and kind of getting back to normal and more precautions are set, we have started to offer those on-site trainings again. And for people that want to take that that has that kind of sitting in their credit in the past when the pandemic was at its peak, you can also go ahead and get that on-site training should you want. I assume that's what you're referring to, but the answer and the explanation there is nobody was offering on-site training for multi-heads because the pandemic was happening and no one was allowed to travel, and there were places that were on lockdown. So but you can have that now if you want. Min Rhonda Hogan Herring asked, how long does it take for a shipment of a machine once ordered? It depends if the machine is in stock. If it is in stock, probably takes about 2 to 3 weeks to prep it and then ship it to you. If it's not in stock, then your rep or your account coordinator will be able to give you an ETA before you order to give you the right ETA or a time frame in which you will get the machine. So if they're not in stock, we have containers on the way. There, we have many different containers coming here on a monthly basis. So it wouldn't be that long of a wait, and the more specific time frame will be provided to you by either your sales rep or your account coordinator. Donnie Bowles, I just purchased a DTG. Will you be walking us through the setup? Yeah, if you purchased the Ricoh RA1000 from us, yeah, you will get the training and the setup with a technician. Amy King says, I'm running an MT1501. What types of needles do you recommend for structured baseball caps? I tried 8012 titanium needles and broke so many on my first try. If 80 by 12 titanium needles is pretty good and a pretty solid size, especially when they're titanium needles and a larger size than the 7511 on structured caps. If you're breaking many of them, it's probably not due to the needle size. It's probably due to either your hooping or some other calibration on your machine. I would recommend that you get in touch with our support team and our technicians so that they can take a look and guide you and help guide you and see how you're hooping the item or other calibrations that might need to be adjusted. That way we can get that taken care of for you. So service@ricoma.com or give us a call at our phone number. Amy King also asked, I also read something about a raised needle plate for caps. Does Ricoma have one available for purchase? All of our needle plates are raised. They're a universal needle plate, and they have a raised lip in the middle. So there's it used to be a long time ago, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, that we had 2 different needle plates. People had to switch it out, and so we just made one universal needle plate that's raised on the lip, so that you actually can embroider caps with that raised plate. So you can embroider caps or flats. So it's one needle plate now, not 2. Angela says, hi from Las Vegas, purchase a belt strap hoop. Is there a video or class on how to use it? So there is a video on how to use the belt hoop on our YouTube channel. You can go ahead and check it out there. And if you need any specific help, you can also contact our support team at any time. Mel Lopez asks, do you connect the 2-head machine to a 110 or 220 volt power? So good question, Mel. And for our 2-head machines, they're actually universal power supply. So it go from 90 volts to all the way to 240 volts. It's self adaptable. And so you just plug it into a standard outlet. I do recommend having like a UPC and actually like a power surge protector to be able to protect your investment in case of a power surge, so it doesn't damage any electronics or boards. But you don't have to have a step down converter or a step up converter to be able to convert the power. You can plug it into any normal wall outlet. But I do recommend having a surge protector so it doesn't damage anything in case of a power surge. The Sheikah Woodridge says, does Ricoma machines do chenille embroidery? So yes, we do offer a chenille and embroidery combo machine. We have a video on YouTube showcasing that machine. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check that out. It is a custom order, so it probably does take about 45 to 60 days to get it. But yes, we do offer that specialty machine. It is embroidery and chenille combo, so you can kind of program it to do embroidery on one head, and then it will do the chenille. It will move itself over to do the chenille part on the other head. Yeah, Gina Hobbs asks, will Deco Summit have a virtual option? Or the answer to that, no, it's an in-person event only. David Harbin asks, what are the benefits of lowering the cap driver plates? So I assume you just mean the cap driver, not there's no such thing as cap driver plates. But if you lower the cap driver, basically it allows the cap to get closer to the needle plate, right? The cap driver is what the cap is able to sit on and moves around as it embroiders. So if the cap driver is lower, it gets closer to the needle plate. Therefore, your hat is more close and smooth against the needle plate, and it prevents a lot of flagging or bouncing, which is what tends to happen, which is what tends to cause needle breaks if there's too much flagging or bouncing on the fabric. And then when the needle is kind of moving in and out of the fabric, it deflects and therefore hits the side of the needle plate on the hole, rather than going through the hole. So lowering the cap driver allows you to minimize that deflection because the cap is closer to the needle plate itself. I hope that makes sense. We have plenty of videos showcasing how to do that, and you can make sure to follow those instructions or get in touch with our support team. They can walk you through it. What's the price range for those machines? As the Dashika Woodridge, I assume you're still talking about the chenille and embroidery machine combos. Those are I don't have the prices off the top of my head, but they're around the probably 29 to low 30s range for a machine like that, because it is a embroidery plus chenille combo. It's essentially a two-head machine that you can embroider embroidery with 15 needles on one head, and then it does the chenille on the other head. So you can do like Carhartt jackets, Letterman jackets, those kind of things where people are, really interested in the chenille look, especially on those type of jackets. But to get the kind of exact quote, I would recommend getting in touch with a sales rep, and they'll be able to give you the pricing on that. Okay. Let's see some questions over on YouTube, if you have any questions there. Shug881 says, I just started my business and working on building a huge clientele. My goal is to start with Etsy first, and then I plan to come to Deco Summit to learn more. Awesome, great, good to see you, and hope to meet you at Deco Summit. Okay. Cecil Chang, as I need to make a decision either to start with embroidery or heat pressing. On here to gather info. So it's two very different techniques, and I kind of would break it down to you in such a way where heat press is very low entry, right? You just buy a heat press. Maybe you kind of buy a heat transfer vinyl. You can start with heat transfer vinyl for very, very low cost. You just buy a small vinyl cutter like the Cricut. And you can get started that way. If you're looking to do like heat transfer paper, you can buy like a white toner transfer printer and kind of transfer designs on that way. You really just need a printer and a white toner transfer printer and a heat press, and that can run you maybe $4,000 or $5,000, right? Versus an embroidery machine, you're probably looking at a slightly higher investment with kind of like $9,000 to $10,000 to start, and they can scale all the way up to $15,000 for a single head, or even $30,000 $40,000 for a multi head. So with that said, it's two very different techniques. So one is more low cost entry with heat press, and another one is a slightly higher investment, but the perceived value and kind of like long lasting the time frame in which the garment can last or the design can last on embroidery is much longer, right? It's higher perceived value because it's actually stitched. It is a little bit more complex. There's a little bit higher learning curve on embroidery versus on heat transfer. But also the perceived value is higher, and it also lasts longer on the garment. So people are willing to pay a premium for that. So you have a kind of a different market for it, and also people like embroidery on caps. People don't really like to do heat transfer on caps. It's not as popular. You do have like heat transfer on trucker hats, but embroidery is much more popular on like Richardson caps or structured caps or even dad hats. People like to do embroidery on those because they look better. It's higher perceived value, and they last longer. So you may be able to charge a higher premium on that, and that kind of justifies the higher investment cost up front, right? But they do complement each other. So if you're kind of like tight on budget, maybe you start with heat press and kind of heat transfer first, and then you can also expand into embroidery later on. But most successful embroidery businesses or most successful apparel decoration businesses have a variety of decoration methods under one single roof, because they want to be that one-stop shop for their customers, just like how we are the one-stop shop for a lot of your apparel decoration needs. So it helps to have embroidery and heat transfer and direct to garment and screen printing, so that when a customer comes in, they have a variety of options and they don't go anywhere else, because you offer everything under one shop, under one roof. So you can also think about expanding into one method or the other as you scale. But if you're tighter on budget, heat transfer is obviously a lower budget to start with. Derek Richardson asks, hey, I purchased my EM1010 back in July 2020, came in September. Do I qualify for a ticket to Deco Summit, or do I have to purchase them? I believe you have qualified for that. You might just want to check your kind of invoice or your sales order with the actual code. A lot of people don't know that they have to claim the code to get the ticket. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to contact our concierge, Aliana, to be able to answer those questions for you. OL Joe 28 asked, what will be the best rule of thumb for charges per stitches when starting an embroidery business? Great question, Joe, but also kind of the wrong question to ask for charging per stitch count. This is something that we heavily advise against. We have an entire video on our YouTube channel, so I encourage you to watch that about pricing. We don't recommend pricing based on stitch count because many times you underprice and it's not reflective of the time that it takes to actually embroider the item, and your time is money in this case. So we always recommend pricing based on time, and we have a time-based formula to actually teach you how to do that. So if you're interested to check that out, make sure to check out that video. It kind of goes into a lot more detail and give you kind of a whiteboard breakdown of the formula so you can apply it to your business. But long story short, the short answer is I wouldn't recommend pricing based on stitches, so I don't have a rule of thumb on charges per stitches. I would always recommend a pricing based on the time that it takes to do that item, either depending on the complexity of the design or the type of item that you're embroidering on, or the number of heads that you have. All of those are factors that goes into the time that it takes to embroider one item, and that's going to help you price based on time rather than number of stitches, because not all stitches are created equal. Shug881 asks, I'm overwhelmed by trying to figure out pricing for bulk orders. I've had 2 potential clients ask, and I had no idea what to say. What is a normal recommended way to figure this out? So I kind of like just what I answered just now. You have to price it based on time. Now, price it based on the time that it takes for you to do one particular order or one particular item. That way you know how to charge per item. And then for bulk orders, you can have a discount based on the volume that they order, right? Because obviously if they're ordering in bulk, you can give a slightly lower price and therefore get lower margin per item, but you get a lot more orders. You get a lot more items. So usually, people, depending on the volume, can give like 10% discount, 15% discount, 20% discount. It just depends on how your business is set up. But the fundamental still doesn't change with regards to kind of pricing based on time and the amount of time that it takes for you to do that item. And then you can adjust the actual pricing based on the volume of the order and give a discount that way. Another question from Shug881. How often should you change your needles? The answer is, when they either break or when you see that you have a lot of thread breaks and the needle is dull, that's probably when you need to change it. So it's really based on a need-be basis from the things that you see, whether that's like thread is constantly shredding or the needle has obviously broken or is snapped, and you would change it out that way. But if it's not broken and over time it does get dull and you can get more thread breaks, you can get little burrs on the eye of the needle, and then it causes thread to shred. So that's when you will kind of change out the needle there. And one tip I would give to any of you changing out your needles, make sure you don't have it backwards, okay? I've seen so many times when people change out needles, and they put in a new needle, and then they're like, oh, wow, everything was working before, and now I'm having thread breaks and shredding of the thread, and everything's just stopping every few seconds because of thread breaks. Well, that's probably because you have the needle backwards, especially if you just changed out a needle. So make sure you don't have the needle backwards when you change out a new needle, because you can be frustrated and thinking about what's going on when everything was working just fine. But if you think about it logically, if you just change out a needle, that's the place to start looking kind of for potential errors. And the most common error I see in that junction of time is people putting in the needle backwards. Yvonne Hicks asked, Henry, I just purchased the SWD. What are some of the things that I should be extra careful about to keep my machine in excellent working order? Great question. And it all comes down to maintenance, right? You have to take care of your machine, and your machine will take care of you. So if you do your maintenance properly, the machine can, just like a car, can last you years and years, right? So you got to make sure that you oil it frequently, especially the rotary hook area, every 4 hours of continuous use. And then there are other areas like cleaning out underneath the needle plate for the excess thread, using an air blower. Also, there's other oiling points on the shaft and in other parts of the machine, maybe on the needle bars, on the roller bearings, on the color change, having grease on there. All of those are covered in your training. And there's if you go to your customer portal, if you don't remember all these points, if you go back to your customer portal and find your particular machine, it will tell you all the oiling points and maintenance points in that video. So you can always refer back to that as well. One of the great things we have here is, we've created a customer portal last year for all of our customers where they can have access to kind of what machine they have, the model, the serial number, the pre-training of that machine before they can sign up for the actual training, as well as a lot more resources for you to access. If you forget something, if you want to look over a video, and all the kind of resources and support is also located in your portal. And so make sure to take advantage of that and actually kind of utilize it so you really know, kind of have everything located in one single spot with your login. Nadine Smith Barksdale asks, I want to embroider in the front of house slippers. What can I use? Probably a robot frame to kind of clamp the front of the slippers. So if you don't know what a robot frame is, it's essentially like a shoe clamp where it has two clamps, and it can clamp together the front lip of the slipper, and that way you can embroider it that way. That's probably the most straightforward way that I can think of. Cisco Carol asked, what is the best needle for small letters on a cap? So small letters on a cap, you probably want to use like a 70 by 10 needle or even a 65 by 9 needle. If it's a structured cap, you don't want to go too small on the needle size because they'll break more easily. So probably a 70 by 10. Coupled with a bigger weight thread. So your normal thread size is a 40 weight thread. So you'll probably want to use a 60 weight thread if you're using a smaller size needle. So it kind of couples with the needle size better. We actually recently just did a video on small lettering on caps and the 4 tips that we give there. Willie just did that on one of our Embroidery Hub episodes. So if you haven't checked that out already, make sure to go to YouTube and look up some of the latest videos, one of which is small lettering on caps and the tips there. Jason Garcia says, just did my first hat last night. Thanks for all the online tutorials. You're welcome, Jason, and congrats on doing your first hat. I'm sure there's many more to come. Lisa Stolf asked, Henry, is there another hoop that makes it quickest and easiest to hoop fabrics, jackets, bath towels, etc.? Yeah, so you can get the Mighty Hoops and the Hoop Master starter kit that comes with the magnetic hoops to be able to hoop those items quicker and more consistently. Doug DeSimone asked, I am looking to buy a used Ricoma single needle. I assume you mean single head because we don't have single needle machines. I'm looking to buy a used Ricoma single head machine from a private owner. Am I eligible to receive the tech training from your company? Also, does the remaining warranty carry over? So 2 questions there. I'll answer the first one. Are you eligible to receive the training? Yes, for a fee. You can always receive an online training from our certified trainers here for a fee. You can just get in touch with our service team. They'll let you know kind of what that is depending on how long you will need the training. And then regarding the remaining warranty, that does not carry over from a private or secondary sale, a secondary market purchase. And the reason for that is, we simply don't know the condition of a machine that doesn't leave our warehouse. So we have no idea, what the condition of that machine is, and therefore we can't guarantee anything without knowing those conditions. So we only guarantee used machines and certified refurbished machines that leaves our warehouse that's been through our hands because, we've worked on it and we know the condition of the machine. Any secondary or private sale, no one really carries over the warranty. Any other brands wouldn't do that either, and the main reason is because there's no idea on the actual on the actual condition of the machine and where it's been or how it's used and its current conditions. So we can't guarantee something that we don't see and we don't know. Arnold Matibag asks, "Is there any step-by-step videos on all heat press machines? I just purchased the shirt, plate, mug, and hat heat press." Yeah, so it's pretty simple. I mean, the videos we have on YouTube kind of goes over that, and you can always contact our support team if you have any particular questions. But the controls are pretty simple. I mean, it's only setting the temperature and then clamping it down, and then timer counts down, and then it will pop up. You know, if you have the auto open heat press, it will pop up once the timer reaches 0, so you don't overheat the garment that's underneath it, and then you just really set your temperature and set your time. So that's really how you use it. So if you have any particular questions, you can always contact our support team here, and they can help you out with that specific question. Kevin McDonald asks, "I just received my EM1010 machine. I need training. Also, can I use PDF files, or do I have to change DST file only?" It's DST file only. Cannot use PDFs. Tisha Luna Aguilar asked or says, "I wanted to thank you all for the great support I have been given over the past 2 years that I have worked with the Ricoma CHD2." Thank you so much, Tisha. And let me know, which CHD2 do you have? Do you have the 4-head, 6-head, 8-head, or 12-head? And hopefully to see your business grow further in 2021, and we can help you out further there with more machines if you're looking to expand. Teresa Gorman asks, "I would like to do embroidery and heat press shirts. What do you recommend I do first?" I kind of answered this in a previous question. It really depends on your budget. Heat press is a lower starting point and a lower entry level in terms of price point, and can get you started if you have a lower budget. Embroidery, it is going to be a slightly bigger learning curve as well as a higher budget to get started with, but it is higher perceived value, and therefore you can charge more, and it lasts longer than heat press. David Dutcher asks, "What is the difference and when is it best to use rayon or polyester thread?" We always use polyester thread. We never recommend using rayon thread. They're just less likely to break and give you issues, so we don't use rayon at all. I saw a couple of questions regarding kind of long trim tails that are being left behind. If you have a specific kind of question on the trim settings or how to kind of minimize the tails, it's a combination of tension plus some adjustments. Maybe the middle thread module, kind of lowering that clicker a bit. It depends on the model of the machine that you have. So to kind of get more specific, detailed answers to those, I would encourage you to contact our support team, service@ricoma.com, or give us a call to be able to answer those questions. Edward Franklin says, "I would like for someone with the knowledge and experience on Chroma Lux to make short, quick clips on TikTok or social media using each tool. Sample clip video, just my 2 cents." Yeah, great recommendation, Edward, and probably some content that we'll probably do on TikTok in the near future, just to give these kind of like quick tips on different tools that we use on Chroma Lux. Another comment from Ryan about more in-depth digitizing tutorials on Chroma Lux. Yep, Willie is actually doing a lot more of those. Actually, I think he put out one on digitizing on patches. If you guys haven't seen that, so on YouTube, that's probably in the last couple of weeks we put that out. So we are doing more digitizing videos because a lot more people have been asking for them. So any video ideas that you have or content ideas that you want to know about, feel free to comment in the comment section below. Our team is making note of all that so that we can see, what gets the best, most people wanting to watch, and then we will create the videos that most people want to learn about. So it seems like digitizing is one of them. Maybe online marketing for your apparel business. That's another one. But yeah, we have been doing more and more digitizing videos. Sheila asked, how thick of leather can I embroider using my 1501? What kind of needle and thread should be used for leather? I'm planning to sew patches on hat, but was wondering if it can be done with my 1501. Yeah, so you can use embroidery machine to stitch the patches onto caps. If it's a leather patch, you would need a thicker size needle, probably like at least a size 12 needle, if not a size 14. And the thread is just any normal thread, 75 by the 40 weight thread with polyester thread. All you need to do is do a run stitch. You do need to place it properly and then do a run stitch as a digitized file so that the machine knows to kind of embroider the border. You first need to do a placement stitch so you know kind of where to place your patch, and then you do a run stitch to stitch on the leather patch. I think Willie did actually a video on our YouTube channel showing you two different ways to adhere patches onto caps. So my team can kind of pin that or put in the comment section below the link to that video. It shows you the heat transfer method to put patches on the caps, or using the embroidery machine, having the actual placement stitch and then the run stitch to stitch it. You do need to be more precise with the stitching method because it's stitching around the border, right? So you want to make sure that it's just at the border enough to hold down the actual patch. But it is definitely doable. But I've also seen people use like a post bed sewing machine to kind of sew the patch onto the cap. All right, we are coming up to the top of the hour here, and then we also got to go through the winner announcements. I will go through 3 more questions on that you guys have. So let me kind of scroll through and see which questions we haven't answered yet. So a question from Floyd Brown. Are there any additional discounts for military? Just thought I'd ask. Get in touch with your sales rep in particular to ask about the discounts for veterans. I'm sure they can help you out there. And then next question from Rainer Smith. Is 2021 Deco Summit definitely on? Will there be a limit admission? So as of right now, yes, it is still happening. It's happening in about 2 months. And will there be a limit on the number of people that are there? Yes, that's why we have a limit on the tickets, and they're about to be sold out. There's only about less than 10 left for VIP and general admission tickets. So there's a limit to the number of tickets being sold. Okay, Teresa Gorman says, do you lease a refurbished machine? So we don't have a leasing program. We have a lease to own. You own it at the end of the lease, but there's no kind of leasing program where you return the machine after a couple of years. Larry Eberhard asked, Henry, is there any maintenance on the cap assembly? Not that I know of. You just gotta make sure that everything is smooth on the cap assembly itself, and that the cap moves, the cap driver moves freely along the rail. These are short questions, that's why I'm firing through them. and try to answer as many as I can. Sheila asks, can I buy a Chroma license? How much would it cost? Yes, you can go directly to our online store, shop.recoma.com, and go to the Chroma section for embroidery software, and you have the three different tiers there. There's Chroma Inspire, Chroma Inspire, Chroma Plus, and then Chroma Lux. Those are the three different tiers, and the pricing are directly on the website itself. Yeah, I already see our team has already kind of posted the link there, shop.recoma.com/products/chroma. So you can just click the link there and be able to purchase it directly there. David Harbin asks, when working with thicker caps, we tend to have registration issues regardless of the needle we choose. Any tips? So registration issues has nothing to do with the needle size. Registration issues just means either with the hooping or something is getting snagged. Either the hoop is not being stabilized properly, or something is getting snagged, either the fabric on part of the cap driver or part of the machine. It's being snagged, and therefore you have loss of registration. If it's not hooped tightly, or if something is getting caught, in terms of the fabric actually getting caught on something, that's going to cause loss of registration. It has nothing to do with the needle size that you use. So I would recommend looking into that, and then also, you can also contact our support team to see if they spot something that you're doing that's causing the loss of registration. All right, let's see here, a couple of more questions. Lisa Stoff asked, Henry, did you say that ticket was included in all sales from 2020? No, not all sales from 2020. It's after we launched the Deco Summit ticket sales. It just really depends. We were running promotions at times where the ticket is included, other times it wasn't included. So you just gotta look on your sales order, on your actual invoice, and whether the line item is included in there for a Deco Summit ticket. And if it is, you would you see that on not only the invoice, but you also get a code to actually enter in your private code to redeem the ticket. So if you don't have that, then you didn't get that free ticket included with your machine purchase. Leah Klein asks, I purchased a used Recoma from a private party. Can I still get support from Recoma? Yes, you can still get support from us, but the warranty does not transfer. And if you need additional training, it will be an additional cost. But you still get support for the lifetime of the machine. So we're not like other companies that will charge you a monthly fee just to talk to support, just because you purchased a used machine, not from us. But we can't guarantee the warranty because we don't know the condition of the machine. All right. Okay, I think those are all the questions that I've been able to kind of get through. Okay, last question I'll answer from Raynard Smith. What's the vast difference between Chroma Inspire to Chroma Lux? So to put it very simply, Chroma Lux obviously offers you a lot more flexibility and functionality. One thing is the more types of stitches, so that you can have more control over actual digitizing from scratch. You can use different types of stitches, versus Chroma Inspire is more for like auto digitizing some simple lettering, and you don't have as much control over the density or the direction or the pull compensation of each of those stitch types. You have less control in that in Chroma Inspire and more control in Chroma Lux. It really opens up the suite of functions. And also, you also have the ability to do applique. You can do like photo embroidery as well, like portrait embroidery. You can do like have a vector file, and then it will convert it into a photo embroidery file. By using this like stippling tool. So that's something that's really cool. We also have a video on that on YouTube that Willie showed on how to do that. But basically it has a lot more features, and that's where the price difference comes in. But it's for people that really want the in-depth control of every aspect of their digitizing and have full control to digitize from scratch. So you have a lot more functionality in terms of like stitch control, different types of stitches, angles, push and pull compensation, density, stitch types, which I mentioned. You can do applique and other types of embroidery on there. Also more control over 3D puff embroidery. So a lot of those are opened up in Chroma Lux that are not available in Chroma Inspire. But we also have an entire kind of like breakdown chart on our website showing you the features that are included and not included on each tier. So you can compare that way. But that's kind of the high level breakdown for the price difference. All right. I hope you guys found that helpful. Kind of to wrap things up before we announce the winner of our 3-month free of HoopMade subscription. I do want to remind you guys, some of you that have been kind of thinking about getting started in the embroidery business or with DTG, make sure you kind of check out the sale that's going on. 0% financing for as low as $130 a month for embroidery machines. Okay, can you put that up? 130 a month for 0% financing for embroidery machines, and then we also have the $249 per month with 0% financing for DTG machines. Okay, so the $130 a month, as I mentioned, really entry level to get started, really low cost to get started. Really, it only takes about 1 to 2 small orders of like a dozen polo shirts on a monthly basis to be able to pay off that monthly payment. And then if you're interested in direct to garment or expanding into direct to garment because you already have an embroidery machine, make sure to check out our link on the comments below that's pinned regarding the DTG printer sale for $249 per month, also with 0% financing. Okay, so and that also includes the DTG package. Also includes everything you need to get started, including a heat press, including the Wagner spray gun to pre-treat your machines, to pre-treat your t-shirts. It includes the actual pre-treatment liquid, basically everything you need to get started. It also includes the heat press itself, as I mentioned, so that you can actually press your shirts and cure your shirts, cure the design after you printed them. So I hope that helps. Again, Deco Summit is coming up in about 2 months. I see a lot of people asking about Deco Summit. If you haven't claimed your free ticket, that's included in your machine purchase. If you're looking to purchase a machine right now, it also comes with the Deco Summit ticket. So make sure to ask about that if you're looking to get into embroidery. And if you haven't claimed your ticket, make sure to claim it so that you can actually have the ticket to access the actual event on March 25th to the 27th. Okay, tickets are also on sale right now until the event. We do expect there's about on the timer there's about 64 days left on until the event, and we do expect to fully sell out probably about a month before the actual event. So as I mentioned before, VIP plus hands-on training tickets only have 2 spots left, and then VIP and general admission tickets have less than 10 spots left. So make sure to get in on that if you're interested to attend the summit. There will be a ton of speakers and seminars, and also kind of different demos of products to show you how to use the machines and specific projects that will be really helpful. And you can also network with others to learn from others in the industry. But we'll have a ton of speakers that will be able to kind of, you can learn a lot more things from, so that you can kind of kickstart and scale your business in 2021. And if you think about it, just one thing that you take away from that summit, from that conference, and you implement it, it's well worth the price of admission. So make sure you kind of take the opportunity and to network and to kind of grow your knowledge that way. All right, it is located in Miami, Florida. All the information is on decosummit.com, and tickets are on sale until the event, but they are likely to sell out well before the event date. All right, so that's kind of it for me, guys. I hope I answered a ton of questions. Sorry I couldn't get to all of them. As it always happens, there's a ton of questions on each and every session. But now we're going to announce the winner of the 3-month subscription to HoopMade. So my team will go ahead and pick out the winner there, and then we'll send you the code and the link for you to access and activate your 3 months free subscription to that service, so you can download some pre-digitized designs in different formats too. It doesn't have to. You don't have to have a Ricoma machine to use the platform, because you can download in the format of your machine. There's different formats for each design. All right, so let's see who the winner is. All right, so the winner is Tisha Luna Aguilar. Congrats, Tisha. You have won a free 3-month subscription to hoopmade.com. You can access the actual platform using the code that we will give you, so that you can get a 3-month subscription to that, and you can download different designs that are already pre-digitized, and you can just download it in the format of your machine and use it that way. All right, so we posted the winner there. Awesome. All right, great. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for great networking, Ricoma fam. Thank you for all the information that were provided. Thank you so much. All right, awesome, guys. So I hope I was able to provide a lot more value on this Facebook Live. Again, we do this every single month. We're also live on YouTube, so you can join us on either platform. We do this every single month to answer any questions you guys might have. So if you missed out on this one, make sure to join the next one. If you join late on this one, make sure to check out the next one that we'll do in February. All right, there's a lot more exciting things coming in the next couple of months, and we're excited to kind of meet some of you at Deco Summit if you are attending. And we have a lot more announcements in the next couple of months with, maybe new products, maybe other initiatives that we've been working on. So make sure to follow us on all our socials, on Facebook, YouTube. We put out videos on YouTube daily, on a weekly basis. Follow us on Instagram if you haven't done so already. We post there daily. So make sure to also join our Facebook groups, Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery, so that you can join over 20,000 embroiderers and custom apparel decorators and learn from each other there and ask questions there if you didn't get your questions answered here. All right. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year to all of you, and the best of luck to your business in 2021 and beyond. And feel free to comment any other questions you might have. We'll kind of get to it in the comments, and hope to see you guys next month. Take care.